You're right, guys, welcome to Hopeless Chatter. I'm Gary, aka Hopeless. Thank you for coming and looking at this video. In this video I will be painting this dandy highway fox from the board game Burrows Badgers from Oathsworn Miniatures, and if you follow this channel you do know I quite like these little guys. Yeah, got these guys for Christmas. There's another 3 sat in front of me ready to go, but as it looks like I will be moving in a couple of weeks, not too sure when I'll get around to filming those. I will apologise straight away. The video setup for this is a little bit different than in previous videos, and that's purely down to my my landlord making me take down all my my rigging, basically to get the nice overhead shots from my camera. So I have been trying to do this with the camera located to my right, but as I am right-handed, yeah, more things were covered than I would like. But hopefully I have edited this video in a way so you can actually see what I have done. Hopefully you can forgive me if it's not that great. So in any case, let's get on with the video. Starting off a little bit different to normal, I'm actually putting my my airbrush to an actual use in this video. So I undercoated with Green Stuff World's black matte paint, and yeah, got myself a nice little compressor so I could actually use this airbrush properly. And I think it came out pretty well. I think it took 2 coats to do a full coverage for this, but that's mainly down to my inexperience, but I will get better. Next, being in a playful mood, I used some Liquitex white ink to provide the overhead shading, the zenithal highlighting, and I actually think it came out really well. I probably would have gone over this again just to make the lighter bits even lighter and the darker bits nice and shadowy, but I think for a first attempt it came out pretty well. Jumping over from inks to contrast paint, I used Griffhound Orange for the fur on the fox, and I think the effect came out quite nicely on it. The Liquitex white ink really gave me some nice highlighting underneath the fur, and this is one of those shots where having the camera on the other side would have been a lot more helpful, but you know, we live and learn. Moving down to the scarf, I used the Instar Alpha Deep Red that came in a model box from a previous month, and I mixed that in with Instar's Water Plus mixture, and that sort of makes it act like a contrast paint, and I wanted to see how that would come across in this one. So I used that on the scarf and the inner coat lining. But with the inner coat lining I added a little bit more paint, so I think it worked out to a 3:1 ratio. I just wanted to look a little bit different and didn't want the coat to look like it was joined to the scarf. And again, I'm quite happy with how it came out. Moving on to the coat itself, I went to the other Instar Alpha paint I have, and that is Electric Blue, and that was another 3:1 mix with Water Plus. There was a slight moment of panic when I thought I hadn't mixed it in together well enough, because I'm using a little cheapy artist palette. I don't have a wet palette yet, I'm sort of still looking for one. I hear Army Painter's got one. With the coat done, I moved on to the hat and used Black Templar contrast paints. I also used that on the boots as well. For the breeches or the trousers, I used Games Workshop's Rakarth Flesh because I wanted a nice sort of creamy colour, because I don't know why, I just had the image of Adam Ant singing Stand and Deliver in my head at this point. It's pretty much one of the main tunes from my childhood. Not sure why. Moving up to the waistcoat, I'm using Caliban Green, which I believe is one of the newer base colours from Games Workshop when their contrast range released. I like it. It's a nice dark green, and I could sort of see this guy running through the woods with his bright blue and red coat, with his waistcoat for camouflage if he needed to dump the coat quickly. And we're using Mournfound Brown on the leather belts and leather bag on his side there. And once all that had dried, we went to Retributor Armour for the gold buttons and buckles on his hat and breeches. Oh, and the belt buckle as well. Nearly forgot about that one. Moving on to the woodwork on the pistol in his hand, I used Contrast's Wild Wood for that, because that gives a really nice deep brown, obviously a very woody colour. And it's only a little pistol, so I thought it'd look nice. And while that was drying, I decided to test how well I could hold my breath by trying to do the eyes. The whites of the eyes I used Corax White. And trust me, it took me a long time to get the nerve up to even try doing this, because my hands have become a little bit more shaky, and I've still got a little bit of a problem with my right eye at the moment. But I think I managed to get the paint where I needed it to go as gently as possible. And once the white had dried, I went over the inner bits with Moot Green, because I wanted him to have green eyes. And surprisingly, I didn't mess that one up, and he doesn't look cross-eyed for once, so quite happy with that. I decided I wanted to have his clothing look a little more dirty and get some shading on there, so I went over everything with Agrax Earthshade, because I figured if he's going to be running through the forest, it's going to be muddy. Also, I do like how the Agrax looks over the electric blue from Instar. Good job. And then when all that was dry, I went over and gave him pupils, using Abaddon Black, the most heart-stopping moment of my entire time painting this miniature. My hands are just not that steady, and I was terrified of cocking him up. So, luckily, I managed to do alright, and he does look fine. And then I sort of noticed that the tail looked a bit bland, so I figured he's a fox, he needs the white bit at the end of his tail, so I did something I've not done in a long time, and that was dry brush the tip with Longbeard Grey. With the fox near enough complete, I figured it was time to start working on the base. Now, I had used some corkboard and glued him on there, but I wanted it to sort of look foresty, or at least deep undergrowth, so using this handy little tray that I got in Hobbycraft to keep all my basing materials in one place, I basically covered the top of the cork in glue and threw some Army Painter brown battleground over the top. I quite like this little tray. You can basically pour your basing material onto it, and there's a little funnel at the end so you can tip it back into the pot, what doesn't stick to the model. When the glue was dry, I went over the entire base with Agaros Dunes, the contrast paint, mainly to see what it would do. And surprisingly, I actually quite like how it came out. Once that was all dry, I went over with some super glue in various spots where I thought moss or grass would grow, and I used some Serious Play static grass pieces to finish off. Oh, I also painted the base in Abaddon Black just to, even. And then I remembered I hadn't actually finished the gun off, so I went over the metal parts with Grey Knight Steel, because I like that sort of blue steel look on things. If I ever do anything bigger, like a big mech or something, I'm going to make sure that my first attempt will be with blue steel paint. And there he is. That is the Dandy Highway Fox finished. This took me a lot longer than normal to really do. Like I said, my landlord complained that my recording setup was covering a window too much, and she is a bit funny about these things, so that's why we're looking at moving. Hopefully get things sorted for a new place soon, and have a better dedicated recording area, not blocking any windows. So what do you guys think? Is this how you would paint your Dandy Highway Fox? Let me know down below in the comments your opinions, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Please do remember to like, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more videos like this. I am doing my best to come up with a realistic schedule for uploads. Obviously, 3-month-old baby, 6-year-old daughter, girlfriend, 50 hours at work a week. It's tricky at times. But anyway, until the next video, as always, I am Gary, aka Hopeless. Thank you for watching Hopeless Chatter, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. See ya!